Good afternoon, everyone. I was just sitting here today and I was thinking about astrology. And I'm into astrology. I don't live my life daily, day by day by astrology, but I've always found it interesting and how things kind of do follow along in a certain, with personality traits somewhat. Of course, it all depends on the person. Um, but my birthday's coming up, and I thought, maybe that's why I was, considering astrology today. I don't know why, but I'm an Aquarius, and what I usually look at in people, and what I like to do is kind of get to know someone, not know their birth date or anything, and kind of guess what they might be based on their personality traits according to astrology. But what I look at is the sun sign, which is like if you say, well, I'm an Aquarius, that's your sun sign. You have a moon sign and you have a rising sign. And those three are the most important in the birth chart, just a generalization of you and your personality and some of your traits that you might have. So no one take offense to this. It's just something I want to talk about. So that said, I'm an Aquarian sun. I have a Virgo rising and Capricorn moon. And what that means is my Aquarius, I am very much an Aquarian. I will not show emotion unless there's just no other way about it. I will get mad and hold a grudge, maybe months. And I know that's not good, but I feel like everyone's against me somewhat sometimes, like I'm the outsider, the black sheep. And then my Capricorn moon, I also feel that in my chart because I can be very organized. And, 1, 2, 3, we've got to do ABC first before we get to XYZ. I'm very organized in that way, and I can be very quiet and really get my nose to the grindstone in work. And then my Virgo rising is what I show outwardly to people. Now, not so much right today, okay, because I've got a headband on. My hair is growing back out, all right, for the umpteenth thousand times because I'm psycho. And I let it grow to a certain length, and then I go and have it all cut off again, and now I want it to grow out. So this is what I'm doing for a while. But generally, like on a daily, I think I've told you guys before in videos, I like to shower, dress, and put some makeup on, even if I'm not leaving the house. And I think that comes from my Virgo rising, because Virgos always want to present put together and in their best frame. So, all of that said, I thought it would be fun to look at some of the sun signs that I have dated or had relationships with in my past and see where that might have gone wrong, or why I really cannot stand to be around Cancers. And I'm sorry if you're Cancer, it's nothing personal, okay? Just my experience. So we'll just start at the beginning. Aries. I did date one Aries. The anger gets to me. I can't take all that fiery, explosive energy. It just does not work for me. Now, that said, I also had to put up with it from my father and my brother and my grandson. Well, actually all three of my grandsons are Aries, so I don't really have to put up with them or deal with them. But growing up, yeah, I saw a lot of that Aries energy, and the Aries that I was involved in, that didn't work. So next is Taurus. Now, I don't think I've ever dated or been, intimately involved with a Taurus, but I do have Taurus friends, and my sister-in-law was Taurus. I can get along with Taurus. I find them to be extremely, extremely stubborn, which is a big part of that sign. And sometimes that gets to me because it's to a point sometimes where they won't listen to anyone else. I mean, they're stubborn. This is the way it's going to be. and I'm more open-minded and think about all these things out here, where a Taurus is more grounded, feet on the earth, and this is the way that it's going to be. So I do have many Taurus people who have been and still are in my life that I love very much. But sometimes that I'll have to just back up just a little bit because, yeah. Gemini. My first husband was a Gemini. And I don't know how he relates to the sign at all because, I mean, I just don't. I know that that's a sign of the twins. They can go from one side to another side. I really don't think that my assessment of Gemini based upon him would be anywhere close to fair because there was a lot of instability and yeah. So I really didn't get a good feel for the sign. I was mostly trying to protect myself. So we'll just leave that there. And then as far as friends that have been Gemini, I've had some. The Geminis that I have been really close to in friendship, though, it's funny because every single one of them, there's been like 4 that I was really close to at a time, and we got along and everything. But once it was over, it was over. It's like I am never long-term with a Gemini. And then I'm looking at my tablet over here so I don't miss any of the sun signs. So then we've got Cancer. I don't do well with Cancers. I've never dated one. I know several Cancers. I've been associated with them and working, conditions and things like that. And I'm sorry if you're a Cancer, but to me and my Aquarian nature, I have no patience for Cancer. Everyone that I've been involved with is a crybaby. They cry. They try to manipulate with tears. They try to manipulate with, I've had the worst life ever. You don't understand, that kind of thing. And I'm sorry for you, but can we move on? Just because you were treated badly as a kid one day in grade school doesn't mean that you should still be crying over it now. So I have zero patience for that. And I found that every Cancer I've ever known has kind of leaned towards that. And it just wears on my nerves. So then Leo. My son is a Leo. My nephew was a Leo. And boy, they sure are. And interestingly enough, my son, I told you I like to try to figure out who's who in the astrological world. My son a couple of years ago brought home his new girlfriend, and she was dressed to the nines. I mean, it was just an evening to hang out here at my house and have some snacks and to meet her, and she was dressed to the nines. She walked through that front door with her head held high, not hoity-toity, just proud. She knew she looked good, and she did. She is gorgeous. And then my son has always been the type that wants to have everything just so, down to his cologne, down to what shirt he wears, very fashion conscious. They walk into a room with a roar and they want to be noticed. And I find it funny because they are so easy for me to spot. I don't have any problem with Leo. I can get along with them just fine and dandy. And Scorpio is difficult for me. My daughter is a Scorpio, and we have had our ups and downs. My first love was a Scorpio, and I don't know if that's what ruined me on that sun sign. I find them to be possessive, jealous, a little shady, a little dark, which that kind of speaks to my soul. I can be a little dark too. But as far as being able to trust them, I've always got them like at arm's length. Not my daughter, but I mean in other relationships that I've had with Scorpios. Just stay a little bit over there because I can't quite figure you out. And I don't want to give you my all until I do, because I was stung really, really hard in that relationship, that Scorpio relationship that I had. So there's that. And then the next one is Capricorn, which I told you is my moon. Capricorns are nose to the grindstone, get things done, work, maybe come out of their shell for a minute and say hello, and then they go right back in and back to work, always in their head, planning the next project, the next to-do list, the next whatever it is that they've got going. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't mind that that is a big part of my chart and a big part of my personality. It comes in handy when things seem to be spinning out of control and going in every direction. I can always like regroup and, you know, focus and just do the list and do the things in one at a time and get everything done. So I've never had a relationship, really, I don't think, with a Capricorn. So, I mean, they're fine. They're fine. And then another Aquarius. I've known other Aquarians, and I don't have a problem with it. Sometimes I think they say that Aquarius and Aquarius do not get along, but I think that would only arise if something happened in the relationship between them where they both were just like, I'm not showing you how I really feel, and the other person, I'm not showing you how I really feel either, and they just kind of separate and go their own ways. And if one comes back to try to reconnect or something, and that's a big if. So it could be, you know, a good relationship for a while, I think, but in the end, it might end abruptly. And then the last one is Pisces, and that's a big no for me. I had a daughter-in-law that was Pisces. I have a current daughter-in-law that's Pisces. And one of my best friends in high school was Pisces. And they are, they're amazing because they have this deep sixth sense that they're just born with. They can pick up on things. They're, you know, very deep, and they know their own feelings and their own heart, and they don't have a problem revealing that. And they make, like, if a Pisces wants to do something with tarot or something like that, they're usually really good at it because they just have that sixth psychic sense, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to talk about. If you're still here, thank you. I just think it's fun to look at astrology and try to break down the people in your life and compare it to what the supposed traits are for that sign and if it follows, and then just kind of guess, because I've been right more than I've been wrong about that. I guessed that my neighbor next door was Cancer, and by golly, he is. So it's just kind of fun to play with. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.